It's Thursday night. This is the internet, and we are live. It's Freedom House TV. My gosh, how is everybody doing on a Thursday? Thursday night, Brian.
Thursday night? What happens Thursday nights?
Thursday. Night.
No.
Thurs. So I don't know. How do you spell Thursday?
You went from Irish rockers to Shrek.
The Bay City Rollers.
Were they Scottish or Irish? Maybe they were Scottish.
I believe they were Scottish.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Mike Myers
you did a great Mike Myers Shrek maneuver right there.
Well, Mike Myers and So I Married an Axe Murderer sang Saturday night as Stuart McKenzie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
It is Thursday night, and it's Freedom House TV, so you're right.
You better believe it. You better believe it.
David, how are you?
Doing well. Doing super fantastic. Even
for a while. Is that in memory of the fact that this was Frosty Fest weekend coming up, and you thought you'd pull out the what I wear on a Frosty Fest weekend?
Yeah, I wanted to just make myself sadder. So I thought, those will be memories of when I'm normally outside in the cold. Actually, being inside at very least is, if you're looking on the bright side of no Frosty Fest, at least it's going to be warmer. And our special guest, doesn't have to go out in the cold this year. So
always look on the bright side of life, David.
That's what they say. Hey, we have a special guest today, and we're going to bring him out in just a second. But this Sunday, Brian, is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one.
This Sunday is going to be a good one.
Do you know why? It's going to be a good one?
It's Valentine's Day. Is that it?
Oh, Lord, I better write that down.
Take notes. Every gentleman listening right now, take notes. Valentine's Day is Sunday. So, but I don't think that's what you were talking about.
Not what I was talking about. No. It is. Oh, you haven't? Do you have another guess? Do you have other more guesses?
Because you're speaking?
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, that is good for sure. But it's the Volley Award.
It's a Volley Award Sunday. Oh, it's so good. This is one of my favorites.
We started doing this, my goodness, maybe 10 years. We've been doing the Volleys for 10 years or so. And it was sort of loosely based off of the Dundee Award.
I was just going to say, when did they do the Dundies? Because I'll tell you when we started the Volleys.
Loosely based off the Dundee Awards, we thought we could do that, and so we have, and it's been nothing but fun for.
Every church does an appreciation day for people, and we thought you can't just do a normal appreciation at Freedom House. You got to find a good way to do it, and so we created these. Fake awards called the Volleys, the volunteer Volleys. Get it?
Do you feel like, and we just couldn't do it normally, is sort of the thing that's
that probably should be in our write-up, our discussion, like our manual, and they couldn't do it normally.
And then couldn't do it normally. But hey, you go with what you got, right? Like that's what we have that's the arrow in our quiver, right? So abnormality.
But you're right. It's going to be a great Sunday. And then Monday, David, speaking of, Frosty Fest, what's going on Monday?
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Hi, Jeff.
Monday. Oh, Monday is not Frosty Fest, but it is.
It's the Unfrosty Fest.
Almost as good. If you love what's happening right now, a live stream on the internet, well, you are going to love Monday because we're doing a Frosty Fest live stream.
It will be unlike any other Frosty Fest you've ever gone to. It'll be fantastic.
Well, it'll definitely be unlike any other Frosty Fest.
We'll show you how to make snow toffee. See, they're going to learn stuff and other things.
Well, they may learn how to make. They'll learn how to skate in your backyard, make a sausage, and then pet a horse. Well,
see, look at all the things they're going to learn. This is fantastic.
There's going to be some stuff. But that'll be fun. So if you don't like Frosty Fest already on the Facebook, you should do that. How's that sound?
I think it's a great idea. Good for you.
So Brian. Next number of weeks, we're going to have some special guests here with us on Freedom House TV. Why? What's happening? What's up?
So we set the theme, as everyone knows. We set the theme for 2021 is the year of shine. We set that up over the month of January. As we came into February, we started talking about how to shine with your story. And we coincided that with the fact that it's also Black History Month, and we have a wonderful Black community in our church and in Brantford. And I've said many times that Brantford is getting less and less white every day, which is fantastic for somebody that moved here from Toronto, from a very multicultural church. This is awesome. And so we want to hear and listen and tell some of our Freedom House stories from our Black community. And so we've got people here on Thursday night with us. We'll take a bit of their story and tell it on Sundays as well. So we have a special guest tonight. David?
It's Phil.
Phillip.
Hello.
No, it's Phillip Wells.
Double L Phillip.
Double L Phillip, that is correct. Twice as nice.
It's Phillip Morias. What a lovely gentleman.
Nice.
Good to have you with us, Phillip.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
In your lovely living room. We've been in your living room many times to do men's events and eaten some lovely things there and had some great coffee. And tonight we're not in your living room, at least on live. But
you are welcome in my living room anytime in 2022. Anytime you want. Just.
I was going to say, when you were saying it, I was about to say, I tried to come and bring you stuff and you stopped me at the street.
That's correct. No further. That's far enough, heathen. So yes, yeah.
There's our friend Somi who's watching. Surprises is your normality. Somi, you're the best. I haven't seen Somi in so long now.
I've never seen Somi.
Oh, he's a wonderful guy. He's like the smiliest, laughiest guy I know. Always
That's
with
good.
his smiles. Very
wonderful,
very
wonderful gentleman. In fact. So, Phillip, how are you?
I have zero to complain about. Zero. Nothing. Nada. Zip. Other than I miss my little Freedom House humans. Other than that, yeah.
Yes. Don't tell anybody, but you may have won an award this coming Sunday.
Oh, goodness gracious.
We have little Freedom House humans.
For the best throat punch? Oh, for the little humans. Okay.
Oh, you just wait. We got a good award lined up for you, buddy. It's a doozy. It's worth
Nice.
It's worth tuning into.
Bless you.
So Phil, we wanted to have you on and just let you chat a bit about your life and some of the stuff that you do. And we were joking before we came on, and you said, "Am I transformational? I don't know. I better you better let me." But I'm like, buddy, you are an incredible example of how you use your business to be able to impact people and impact stuff. Maybe just chat a little bit about what your Morias Tech business is as we start chatting.
Oh, okay. This Morias Tech business. This man wanted to be an architectural type when he grew up, and went to Brantford Collegiate Institute and did drafting and all that stuff. And I thought, that's what I want to do. And ends up there's a whole bunch of technology these people use, and I got pretty decent at that technology, and I don't want to do the architect thing anymore. I like this technology stuff. So I always had that in my knower that someday I want to have my own business. And there was a gentleman, and I still talk to him to this day. He still mentors me in business, and he's just a wonderful human, him and his wife. And he hired me on April Fools. And I'm looking around, and he's got 14 offices. He had all the things I wanted to have someday in terms of business and being successful. And my first day on the job, I kid you not, his name's Bruce Lamb, wonderful man. So Bruce, if you ever see this, thank you and Jenny. And first day on the job, he comes over, he says, nice to meet you, Phillip. And first words out of my mouth was, Bruce, how much to buy you? He's the first words. I didn't say, how are you? Nothing. Just how much to buy you. And he looked at me and serious as a heart attack, and he could tell I was serious. I wasn't joking. I wasn't trying to be funny. I was so impressed with what he built. How much to buy you? And he looked at me and he told me a number. Let's say it was 2.2 million. Well, I barely had $2.2, let alone 2.2 million. But in that moment, I knew one of two things were going to happen. I was either going to find the money to buy Bruce Lamb's company, or I was going to start or build my own. So there was one of those two things. There wasn't a plan C out of that. So I didn't find 2.2. And Bruce sold the company to somebody that did probably have 2.2. And
so he wasn't kidding about that.
No,
there was no lowball offer coming your direction.
Oh no. I offered him $20 and he said no. And then fast forward, and about 13 years ago, an opportunity came. And I said, hey, I got to give this thing a shot. I got to give this Morias Tech, because it would be burning in me till the day I died if I didn't try. So I didn't know if I would be successful, but I knew I had to try and give it a go. So I met a lot of people like TDL, which is Tim Hortons Development Limited, and IKEA, and these people while I was working for Bruce, and they were extremely supportive after I stopped working for Bruce, and Morias Tech was kind of born right in the financial crisis. So the year that everything went south and all the banks behaved badly and the bailouts, worst time in the world to start a new business is when the world is upside down, kind of like how we're going today. So I believe the message to my wife was, hey, baby, I got fired from work today, which was part of the strategy. I got fired from work today, and I think I'll go start my own business. I ducked after she swung, and she wasn't too impressed, right? She's meat and potatoes, 9 to 5. That's what you do. You go to work at this time. Why would you get fired from a perfectly good job to take this risk? And man, I'm so thankful that things turned out the way they turned out. And Morias Tech, even this in this year, we've been just so blessed. We've seen highs, we've seen lows. I've cried, I've laughed, I've all of those things. How on earth am I going to pay the bills this month? The full gamut, whole thing, felt it all. And so that's kind of how the company started. But I've recognized for a while that really it's a tool, like anything else in life. It's a tool.
Phil, let's even take a bit of a step back. Your family has been in Brantford for quite some time, right? Your family moved here from Jamaica when you were young. Is that right? You were 5. You're 5.
Yep. So I had an uncle, and there was a few more pieces to the story, but one of the main pieces, I had my uncle Aquila, and he sponsored our family to come to this country. And so me, my mom, and my dad, and Anne Marie, my sister, and my 2 big brothers, and I didn't learn till later on, but my uncle had to go borrow money to put into his bank account from a church brother or sister, so that when the government did the check to see, because he's vouching for us, they saw there was money in the bank account. And I'm thinking, who on earth would do that for my uncle? And it was a large sum of money, really big when I consider the time. And who would trust a fairly new person to Canada? And he didn't spend it. He made sure the person got the money back. And so I learned that story when my uncle came to the house a few years ago. And we lived on Peel Street, not too far from downtown core there. We lived on Peel Street, and then bought a house close to my uncle. But it was good, and became citizens. And I was young, so I didn't have to memorize anything. My mom and dad had to kind of do all the talking points. But people ask me a lot, why would you come? People go to Jamaica for weddings and vacations. Well, why would you come here? Real simple answer: opportunity. That's it. That's it. Just give us an opportunity, and we'll take care of the rest. And we're blessed to call Canada home. Don't like the snow. Still don't. But that's the only beef I have with Canada. If it could just stop snowing for
well, that should be an easy one to settle.
Who knows? It's been a crazy year, man. Well, why not this? Right?
Yeah. So I wrote a letter to Phil McColeman, and he hasn't wrote back about see if he could fix that. But yeah, we came here when we were young, and I love it, love it, and very, very blessed to call Canada home.
So, Phil, you've shared different stories with Brian and I, and some on long road trips, somewhat successful to the Ottawa Valley and beyond. And you've long had a desire to be able to use your life and business to be able to care for people, see things built, and that sort of thing. What was your inspiration to be able to become somebody who actually did make a difference? What was the thing that went, I want my life to be about something more transformational than just got a job and working away?
Yeah. There was quite a few giants in my life. So whether it was my uncle, or there's a gentleman growing up named Bill Bowen, and all the children just love Bill Bowen, and they had a father-son thing at church, and my dad, hardworking man, he was at work. So Bill Bowen, he'd give you a call and say, "Hey, you're my son for the day, and I'm going to pick you up and take you to church, and because your dad's busy working." And there's so many people that played a role in my life. Being in Crusaders when I was young, and had Mr. Chant, and then who was Hazard, Mr. Hazard, and they'd take me and show me how to do camping stuff and cook potatoes, and I'm like, why are these people giving of their time? Like they got to have other things they'd rather be doing with their time. But it left such a mark on me. So in the same fashion that we came here, and all we really wanted was an opportunity, and the people that invested in my life personally and in my business and consulted me, really, do you have any other choice other than to do the same for somebody else? So I'm blessed to be in a position where some people in industry see some value to what we've built with God's help, and I see a young Phillip in them, and they want to someday have a business, and maybe a nicer home, and family, and all of those things. So those things that were done for me, it's just a little bit of my time is really that's all they're asking for. And say, okay, here's where I stubbed my toe, and here's what I recommend you don't do, and make sure it's more. The money is important, but if that's the primary goal is to make money, it's not going to be too fulfilling. So, I just want to, people say pay it forward, so to speak, but the Bruce Lambs and the Eric Wixons and Freedom House. I had this conversation with you guys when I first started coming to Freedom House. I said, man, I didn't think a church like you guys existed. Right. And I wasn't trying to knock any other church in the city. It's just the outward focus just blew me away as to these crazy people actually think they could be a key component to ending systemic poverty in the city and homelessness. These guys are nuts. Where do I sign?
I know there's another question up on the screen there, Phil, but you're a really important part of our relocation team, and speaking of transformation and wanting to do things kind of different than other churches, we've talked openly here and at the church about, it's not about creating another space that sits empty 6 days of the week as a sacred space, but something that can be used for housing and business and education. talk a little bit about that, because you get pretty jazzed about some of the dialogues we have about being able to create that. What is it about a transformation center? And it falls in line with the transformation discussion. Like, what is it about that makes Phil excited?
Well, it's scary. And if it doesn't scare you a little bit, I don't know why you're doing it, right? It's gotta, and the stuff that's happening right now, it scares the living patoozies out of me. It really, really does. I'm thinking, how cool is this? So I pull the Terry Howard. I learned this from Terry Howard, the float the boat thing, and I'm gonna try to poke some holes in it. And man, that boat is still floating. Good idea. Let's run with that one. Man, I've been trying to poke holes in your boat for I think that since the day I met you, and that stinking boat keeps floating. so you got to run with it, right? And that's the challenge, and that really gets me jazzed up is that scary part of it, the part where I know I cannot possibly do this in my own strength. So I have no choice but to rely on God and the Holy Spirit to get me through. So I'm not in love with being scared, but it sure does get me jazzed up in any venture. In sports, look, if you pick a fight and you could beat the other guy, you're just a bully. That's all you are, right? So, pick a fight with somebody that might be able to kick your tail. Oh, now we're having some fun. So I like the scary. I like the fact that Freedom House isn't afraid of the scary, because I got a good feeling that they're of the similar mindset to say, hey, this can't possibly happen without God. And when it does happen, we know who to give the glory to.
Oh, look what you've done, David. Look at this.
Oh man, look at that segue stuff.
While we're talking about it, figure we should show it just because I love looking at it. In the last week or so, we've been able to secure a deal on this piece of land all along Charing Cross, storefronts there, the street that goes back there, and then this land sort of in behind the businesses back in Charing Cross is where the proposal for our new Freedom House Transformation Center will be as the next number of years go on, and we work our way through the million steps that still exist. That's where we're headed. Hopefully it's all going to work out, though.
Yes, sir.
Phillip, why is it important to be a transformational person? Why is it worth it? Why is it important?
I don't know that God expects anything less, does he? Really, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So what's that legacy look like? I made a bunch of money, helped my kids go through school, and I put a roof over their head. Is that it? There's gotta be more. There's absolutely gotta be more. So I've been blessed with so many wonderful people in my life that have planted seeds into my life. And I don't know if they're proud of where Phillip Morias is today, but I hope some of those people are smiling. I hope some of those people are smiling. And I am blessed to have a business and have a platform where I can speak my mind. And if someone tells me that, hey, my wife's got cancer, well, I don't have to check with the boss to ask them if it's okay if I pray with them. So it's kind of cool, right? It's really, really cool that I have this platform, that God's blessed me with this platform. And because I'm not going to fire me anytime soon, right? It's just not gonna happen. But yeah. It's just all good. So we had this discussion, and I'm like, am I a transformational person? And I asked my wife a question a while ago, and I said, baby, what do people see in Phillip Morias? Because I didn't get it. there was one or two people that like me, I heard, and I didn't get it. I'm like, I'm looking out. What do they see when they see me? And she said, help. That's what her answer was, help. And I'm like, woof, woof. I hope so. I hope so. So I'm not all the way there, but with God's help, I'm hopefully heading in the right direction.
It's awesome. One more question, Phil. This is the Freedom House. We've been calling this the year to shine. As we started to talk about it this year, how do you shine, and how can maybe even make it even more general? How do other people shine? How do we shine in this world? Like we were chatting about before we came on camera without names, a young gentleman, and you spent quite a lot of time with people who are. I've watched you take an interest in people that are early business age or trying to get their way in, like start careers and try and start their life plan, right? And I've watched you encourage people to shine, essentially. So how do you do it? And then how do we encourage each other to be able to shine in the world?
Yeah, so not being born here, having immigrated here, every chance I get, I try to explain to anyone that will listen. I don't know that if you were born here that you could fully grasp how blessed you are to live in this nation. I don't think you could fully understand how blessed we are. Even in this crazy, challenging time, we are extremely blessed. So we had snow going sideways one week, and I'm like, thank you, Lord. I have a roof over my head and shelter, and there's warm air coming out of vents, and I have, I have my family around me. I could hug them, I could squeeze them, or I could pick up the phone and call Dave or call Brian. I could go on and on and on. And in spite of this year, my stress level, if 10 is the worst, has probably been around 2 or 3. Because when I think of the things that matter most in life, my family, my health, my strength, my core, my friends, shelter, food, clothes. Last time I checked, there was a couple bucks in the bank. No, not a million. I'm working on it. Give me time, right?
Yet,
but there was a couple bucks in the bank, and I had a business friend of mine call me, and he asked if I would mentor a young man that had the same complexion as I. And this young, he's about 26 years old. And I won't tell you his whole testimony, but he came from a northern part of Africa and had to pay smugglers to smuggle him into, I believe it was Sudan. And from Sudan, he came to get, he's 26 years old. I'm like, this stuff only happens in the movies, right? And I'm like, we are truly, truly blessed to call this nation home, to call this city home. And again, Brantford, there's some work to do, but that's why we're here, to be God's hands extended. And that sounds like a plan to me.
Well, boy, you had some good answers. You said you didn't have anything planned. That was right off the top of your head, Phil. That's not half bad.
I got my sister speaking in my ear. 1 second, Emery. 1 second. She's good. She is good. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's awesome, Phil. We deeply appreciate you and your whole family and it's been terrible not seeing you in person. Like you're everyone's uncle. Like you're like I don't know how many nephews and nieces you have at Freedom House, but like
it's a great thing.
It's substantial.
Yeah, it is. I have a really big family, and other people pay their bills, which is the best part. But I do miss my Works burger and a milkshake the size of your son's head. I don't even know how he drank that whole thing. I do miss those things, but yeah.
Soon
Yeah,
enough. Soon enough.
Yes, sir.
Brian, got any closing thoughts, my good man?
No, I'm just glad this happened, and I'm glad we got a chance to chat this way. I think Phil brings an important piece to everything he's part of at Freedom House, and so getting a chance to talk to him this way is really good. Glad you.
Yep, we lost Brian.
And just like that,
perfect.
He came.
Amen. It's like he's looking right through. Oh, he's back.
Oh, now he's
maybe.
Am I?
You're. Yep. Yep.
I tell you, one thing I'm gonna miss when the season of Zoom calls is over is Brian's frozen internet face.
Yeah. Dave or I or Nikki, it's pretty common several times through our staff meetings. Somebody's frozen, and it's like counting the number on who's. Yeah,
pretty common indeed.
Whatever I said there was, Phil, we love you. We appreciate you. You're a huge part of what we're doing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't know how to get out of this thing, Dave. So.
Oh, don't worry. You just stay right there. I'm going to say goodbye to the people, and then we'll say a proper goodbye. How about that?
All right. That works.
Goodbye to the people. We'll see you all Sunday for our church for the volley words and such. It's going to be fun. Come. It'll be great.